Kyle, thanks for coming by. I thought I would just open this up to the broader audience for you to share some of the learnings you have. Before we get to the Huntress today, I would love to kind of rewind the clock for you to talk about the founding story of Huntress.
When I came out of my offensive cybersecurity background, I was just kind of looking like who could use my skills and who could I give kind of like my skills to that's truly going to value it. And although the big businesses of the world, right, think of truly Fortune 500 who could afford anything, they offered me like sexy salaries, but I was like, I think there's kind of an underrepresented part of the world, right? All businesses, not just that top 1%. And that's kind of was that synthesis of, even though I knew I was going to wreck hackers and I knew how to do the technical, it turned out that was just the beginning of my problems because I didn't know how I was going to fund it. I didn't know the business model. I didn't know how to go to market. But that was the idea all the way back in 2015.
And I know it's not smooth sailing for you. You didn't just show up and raise 100 million. Talk to us a little bit more about that journey, that 0 to 1 for you.
Yeah, so first off, 3 technical founders, right? And by having 3 of us, we might have had like lopsided in some places. But the one thing we could do is we could bootstrap and build a product. And even though like that's not for everybody, a lot of people start right out the gate and they try to raise capital. For us, building a product and then constantly testing it, would you see enough value or understand the pitch to actually separate $1 from your pocket? It took us a lot longer. 2 or 3 years of bootstrapping, I think, is what we did before we really started getting any sort of repeatable traction. And during that time, I got better at that pitch. I got better at sales. That couple years was painful. But I don't regret at all having those like experiences, because once it was time to go to market, it turns out we were pretty well versed and we understood the problem. So when it came time to get our very first customers, the next 5 to 10, they started falling a lot faster.
One topic we definitely want to touch upon is just AI. I guess to level set, do you think this is a tailwind or a headwind for our industry?
The answer is a flat out yes. And I know that's not fair to say, is it tailwind or headwind, and answer like in the middle, but I think it's simultaneously both. AI comes in lots of different flavors. Automation comes in lots of different flavors. But one of the current like genesis of like a lot of the LLM generative AI right now, it is very much probabilistic. It will give you an answer with a certain probability. If you are, for instance, doing Photoshop, design, matching audio and voice, probabilistic is perfect for that. But if you have to find yes or no, this is a legit application that enables productivity, or this is a bad application that is about to wreck, maybe allow hackers in, or maybe even steal all your data and ransom you, probabilistic isn't specific enough and you need more deterministic. I've come to the conclusion, at least for my problems in cybersecurity, but I think it actually applies to the masses. AI itself is not really replacing many humans right now. However, humans augmented by AI are absolutely replacing humans that aren't using it.
But how do you cut through the noise?
I mean, there's some flat out BS out there. And most of the time I hear it from founders who cannot tell me what is the business symptom. When I went to one of these IT departments and I was talking to what value they looked at, I had a couple big moments to them. And they said, Kyle, how do I buy your product and not lose my most senior IT or cybersecurity person? They didn't care about me, all the value proposition I pitched. Their business value was retention of their best clients. And so I had to actually morph our product to be able to say, oh, I'm gonna not only enable the most junior people, I'll free up that business value. And I don't think most of the market right now is doing a very good job, at least in the cybersecurity space, explaining that niche. However, I do think it'll change.
Year 10 at Huntress, time flies. The word balance just comes to mind, okay? You crank, you work super hard. How do you maintain balance, man?
Yeah, or what's it called when you break out of a moment, when I like awkwardly pan to the camera and say, balance is hard. And I'll tell you this, like when Casber is saying that we talk over the weekends, is because every board member I've ever recruited has been somebody who's ready to go through it with me, join on that mission. And you've known firsthand, I don't always have the greatest balance. The first like 6 years were so much like go, go, go. I missed years of my kids' lives. And I was obsessed with this mission because it was fun. I felt it every day. But ironically, that obsession with the mission almost caused me to burn out in year 7, right? And then thankfully investing in myself again in year 7, 8, and 9, I'm now at the point that I've delegated more. And that's what's given me the motivation to go another 10 plus years.
Huntress is a real cybersecurity platform today. What do you want Huntress to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
The thing that's most exciting to me is the threat landscape has only got broader. But the biggest difference, when I started with protecting 100 employee companies, they were the most vulnerable. We're no longer just messing with 100 employee companies, right? I have 170,000 total businesses that I protect. And if I could look in 10 years and say I feel good about what I was doing, I would say we would finally turn the tide, that when we are actually protecting more businesses than the businesses that they're selling on the dark web. And I know that sounds like such a weird metric, but right now that is not the case. Cybercrime is winning. And they not only wreck more businesses doing their own version of customer acquisition, they're making more money than good companies. And I would like to see that money stay with the businesses, whether they are Fortune 500, Fortune 5,000, or all the way past the Fortune 5 million. That'd be a good 10-year goal.
Thanks, Kyle. I really appreciate your time.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much, man.